start sharing?
No, I'm gonna give a quick introduction.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna hand it over to you, Karen. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining this weekly call for our community Career Go, where we enable, empower everybody to find the job they love. So today's session, how you can bolster your confidence and self-esteem in all situations. So this call is going to be recorded and streamed on YouTube and social media. So if you're not comfortable being streamed or recorded, please leave the session now. So our community, we help everybody find the job they love and boost your full potential as well. So if you're comfortable sharing your LinkedIn profile in the chat and connect with others who share their profile, that will help you grow your network. And if you're able also to, share your knowledge and ask questions, this again will enable and empower your knowledge and wisdom with situations that you need for your job search. So the call today, Karen is going to speak maybe for around 30 minutes or 35 minutes or so. Feel free to raise your hand if you have questions. We try to limit the questions to 2 minutes, and Karen will leave some space at the end for that. So at the end of the call, we run a survey. We want to hear your voice. We want to see, how did we do today, and understand how we can serve you better for future calls. So please fill that 1 minute survey. We'll paste the link in the chat for you to fill at the end. We also take a group selfie, so stick around till the end. We do this at the end of the hour. Again, we use this for marketing purpose and also to recognize the speaker with a selfie. Kudos and recommendations are very important. If you like what you get today, it would be nice for you to share kudos and recommendation to the speaker. This is all volunteering work, so thanks Karen for her time and energy and wisdom here. So our promise as a community, we help you to get hired within 3 to 6 months. If you apply everything that you learn, if you continue to attend those sessions, if you continue to be curious and ask questions and apply what you learn, you will definitely get hired within those 3 to 6 months. So you will not walk alone. Again, we're here to help you. Don't be shy. Just ask us what you need. So already we have some people already got hired from this community, and our target is ambitious. We want to get 1,000 plus people to be hired in 2021. It's a little bit high number, but we're trying our best to help more people. So our ask to you, if you please engage and ask questions, and also you can check our YouTube channel for previous videos about resume, LinkedIn, recruitment and storytelling and job search techniques. Those will help you with your journey. So coming up, we are gonna continue to do those sessions every Thursday. We'll keep it for Q&A so that you can just come and ask questions, and we could help you with your questions. We canceled the Sunday for summer because again everybody's busy with their summer holidays, so we don't want to take your Sunday, and we'll resume this maybe in September. So our session today, how you can bolster your confidence and self-esteem in all situations. So the objective Karen will be sharing today is building your confidence and self-esteem, give you more effective tools to conquer any interview, help you be successful in life and work. So Karen has worked in the publishing industry for over 35 years. She works with speakers, entrepreneurs, and authors to help them clarify their message, amplify their voice, and get seen and heard as an expert. With that, I will hand it over to you, Karen. The floor is yours. Let me stop sharing here.
Thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate that. Thank
No.
you all. Thank you for having me, and I'm very honored to be here. So with that, as Ahmed said, the session is about boosting your confidence and self-esteem, how we can connect with high self-confidence in order to have maximum impact. And Ahmed gave you a little bit about me. This is my dog, Izzy. He goes wherever I go. He gives me lots of self-confidence. So I suggest getting a dog. So I've been in the publishing industry for a long time. And what's nice about the what I've been doing is that we help authors. I've helped over 1,000 authors at this point clarify their message, amplify their voice, get on speaking stages, get on podcast, radio shows, and really get your message down to like about 30 seconds so that you're really clear about what it is you do and how you serve your client or your customer or your employer. So let's break this all down. Think about what it is that you do for work. Is your work your passion? Does it align with your objectives and goals in life? So, like I said before, can you actually describe what you do in 30 seconds? You might be surprised, but most people actually can't. So that's the first thing I would do, is really practice what you do and how you serve in just a few sentences, because your future employer, any interview, any radio show, they're going to ask you to explain that, and you can't go on for 10 minutes about what it is you do and how you stand out from the crowd. So getting clear on your message is going to help bolster your self-confidence. Here's what confidence does for you. It keeps you moving forward when things don't work out the first time. And for most of us, things don't work out for the first time. So we have to keep going and going. Confidence also attracts positive people and opportunities for you. Like attracts like. And so if you have a lot of negativity around you and you surround yourself with negative people, that's what you're going to exude as well. So if you have confidence in yourself, you're going to attract like-minded people. It's also, typo, it's what causes you to embrace change and own your choices. So again, who would have known a year and a half ago that, we would all be working remote, or, this pandemic would hit, we couldn't see family. It's really, we really had to pivot. And those of us who thrived during this environment had the self-confidence to actually say, okay, well, I can't go to conferences, I can't go to actual work and see a lot of people. So what is it I'm going to do? How can I embrace this change and really thrive? Believe it or not, communication skills were ranked the #1 sought after quality sought by employers. Yet communication skills are really definitely overlooked. It's something to develop because it really is critical. Your future employer needs you to be very clear, not only with them, but with the team that you might be working with. Or if you're working with outside customers, you have to be very precise and clear so that they understand what you're talking about. So it's a critical skill, and if you master that, then you have no bounds. You won't be limited. So there are 7 steps to keep in mind in order to create a clear and effective message to communicate. So the first one is stay on message. Be clear. Again, what ideas you're trying to express in the messages that you're trying to convey. What are you trying to convey to the other person or to the group? What do you most want them to understand? And just keep focused and stay on that message. If you have to repeat yourself, keep doing that so people get the idea. The second way is make it a two-way conversation. Try to really hear and understand where the other person is coming from. And that helps you in life as well. If you're having a conversation with your spouse, or your children, or your friends, you want to really listen and understand what they're saying, and you can even mirror them and repeat back what you think you heard. Because you really they need to understand that you get them. So what messages are you trying to get across? Ask yourself, do I really understand them? Pay attention to just what they're saying, to what they are saying and how they're saying it, not just what is being said. Third, stay making sense of it all. Always ask yourself, does what I'm saying make sense? You know, does the feedback I'm receiving make sense? What is the perspective that I'm trying to get across? Does it make sense that they have this perspective? They're telling me something. Am I understanding what I'm getting back? When both parties are in the conversation and they're truly able to say what they understand, then then it all makes sense. The both of you or the four of you, however many people are in this conversation, need to understand and make sense of it all. And that's effective communication. Now you're responsible for any failure to communicate. Remember, the primary communicator is you. So you are 100% responsible for the other person's understanding of what you're saying. So if you don't feel you're being understood, you haven't completed the job of communicating. So try and re-communicate your position to ensure you've been properly heard. The fifth way is, can you hear them now? Do you really hear what other people are saying? To really listen requires your full attention and being able to feed back to them exactly what you heard them say. This is really important, not only in interviews, but again, in life. For successful relationships, you want to mirror back what you think you heard so they can say, yes, you get it. That's exactly right. Or they could say, oh my God, don't you get it? This is not what I said at all. So you want to make sure that you are understanding what they're repeating back to you. And the sixth way is repetition. Always repeat. An equally effective way to make sure others understand exactly what you're communicating is ask them to repeat back their interpretation of what you just said. Now, I wouldn't recommend you do this in an interview necessarily, but I think it's a terrific way if you're having a deep conversation with someone, family members, or you're trying to resolve, or even if you are speaking with a team member and you're trying to resolve a situation or some kind of not fight, but if you're trying to resolve a problem or a challenge, you do want to ask them to repeat back what they think you heard, so that it gives you a very clear way to understand what they're really thinking. And the seventh way is respect your audience as you respect yourself. To be a clear and effective communicator, you must first recognize that your message is not about you or what you want. You want to know, you want to communicate what's in it for them. How can I serve my audience? What can I do to benefit you? You must believe in your message and sincerely care about the needs of the other person and the unique perspectives of the other person. So they took the time and the trouble to come and listen to you like you have tonight for me. And so I feel the responsibility to clearly send you my thoughts, and clearly communicate to you my perspectives. All right, so, because, maybe we're starting to get back in person, but, a lot of our meetings will be over Zoom and even over the phone. So how do you demonstrate what we call executive presence over the phone? It's how do you radiate gravitas? how do you become even, how do you communicate that specialized skill? Or body language may come into play certainly over Zoom, but over phone it doesn't. But even if you're talking over the phone, you want to stand up straight. You want to dress the part. You just want to always, if you are dressed, if you are acting the part as though you are in person, you will become that person. So I'm going to talk about 7 strategies to enhance your executive presence. Okay. There we go. So the 7 are: warm your voice, project confidence with your body language, punctuate your points, speak from your chest, talk in an interesting voice, really listen, and never use a speaker phone. So with warming your voice, you just like if, I'm a singer, right? So I need to warm up and practice before I get on the phone or a Zoom call, or if I'm making a speech. So what you want to do is, you want to do some vocal exercises, or you want to just start. You don't want to sound like you've just woken up. That's the worst thing, is that the interviewer or the person on the other end is going to go, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Did you just wake up? It's 2:00 in the afternoon. I thought, you might be awake." So you want to have some water before, so that your throat and your voice doesn't sound hoarse. And this is a great exercise. Smile before you get on the call, before you get on Zoom. And when you smile, people really light up and people will respond to you. And when you smile yourself, I know it happens to me, I get in a better mood. So I would highly recommend doing that. Project confidence with your body language. And just as I said, if you're on the phone, sure, the other person can't see you. But if I'm straight like this, I'm going to speak in a different way. I'm going to exude from my diaphragm, and I'm going to project confidence. If I'm kind of slouching like this, you're not going to hear me, and I'm going to mumble, and you're not going to hear anything I'm going to say. And so I won't sound very confident or very skillful. The third is punctuate your points. So don't rush your words, because it could sound garbled. You don't want to sound messy. So you don't want to sound uncomfortable speaking to them. So 100 words a minute is actually the ideal speaking rate. So it's not slow enough to be boring, but it's not so fast that people won't retain what you're saying. So I'm actually going to start practicing that, because I actually haven't done that myself. But I think it's a terrific exercise. I think I said 100. It's 190 minutes per minute. So start timing yourself and definitely practice. Speak from your chest. So when we learn to sing, we talk from we sing from our diaphragm. You don't want to talk with your throat like this, because your voice is going to sound a little, tinny. So what you want is to do some deep breathing exercises and actually speak from your chest. You want to practice speaking from your lungs, so your voice sounds fuller. And it'll sound more authoritative as well. You want to talk in an interesting, engaging voice. So vary your tone when you speak, so that, if you talk in a monotone, people are just going to tune out. So you really want to modulate what you're saying. You could laugh, be authentic, be who you are. You could laugh, you could, slow down. You could get high pitched for a minute, or when you're really excited about something, or if you have a really important fact to say, slow it down and talk a little lower. Really show that you're listening, even if they can't see you. Just, signal that you're listening on the phone. If you're on the phone, you want to use short verbal cues. So things like sure, or Yes. Oh, I understand what you're saying. So that they are really, or repeat back a point they just told you. Because you want to let, if you're listening to somebody, they want to know that you agree with them. And so, but you don't want to interrupt them. So you really need to be, you need to kind of practice that. You don't want to interrupt what they're saying, but you do want to generate, oh, yes, what a great point, terrific fact, whatever it is, encourage them so that they know you're really hearing them. And the last point is never use a speakerphone. It just sounds garbly. The person at the other end may think you're multitasking. So you really want to be present at all times. On a Zoom, you want to be on camera, on the Zoom. Don't get off and on camera if you're in a conference. You want to show up, you want to be, you want to stand out. So dress the part, have a nice background, and dress well. And again, make sure all of your technical things work, because they don't always work. So one of the key things to stand out from your competitors is tell stories. We're all people. We all have an interesting story. When you're being interviewed, a lot of people will say, a hiring manager might say to you, so how are your communication skills? And your answer might be, I have strong communication skills. And not elaborate. Or you might say, they might say, well, what's different about you? What are your strengths? And you're going to say, I'm self-motivated. Great. What the heck does that mean? So I have excellent leadership qualities. Well, leadership means something different to each person and to each company that you might interview with. In fact, that's a great thing to research, because what are the qualities they look for in leadership, and how do they want you to lead? And then my favorite, I work well with others. I'm a team player. So yes, those are all, the standard things to say, but they're so broad that the interview is basically going to be turned off. So what you want to do is focus on the results. What that means is you could say, instead of saying, I'm an excellent communicator, you can say, I'm a strong communicator. In my last role, to improve communication in my department, I initiated weekly stand-up meetings where no topic was off limits. It became a vehicle for eliminating redundancies, promoting best practices, and improving overall morale. It became more of a fun place to work than a boring place to work. So here you've elaborated on, I'm a great communicator because I did all of those things, and I'm giving you very specific examples. I'll give you one other. I'm a self-starter. So instead of saying I'm a self-starter, you could say I'm highly self-motivated. In fact, recently, our budgeting system didn't pass muster for the sophisticated reporting we needed to do. So I took the initiative to do some research and found an alternative that was 25% cheaper. And we integrated that with the other software that could be implemented into our systems within weeks. Now we can produce quick turnaround reports in whatever form you want. Now that is a true definition of a self-starter. So basically, you want to show people how your brain works. You want to tell stories that maybe, that show your excellence in very specific ways. And what do employers love to hear from a prospective employee? They want to hear in their voice, and this is something that'll show up on the phone and on Zoom in person. They want to see your passion. They want to hear your enthusiasm, and they want to see you show grit. They want examples like the previous examples I showed you about your impeccable work ethic and your ability to get along well with others. And while it's important for them to know that you can actually do the job, but the real truth of the matter is that people hire people they like. They hire people because they think you're approachable, that you're likable, that you're going to get along with others. You know, when I've hired a lot of people, I've fired a bunch of people as well. But when I look for people to join my team, I can look at a resume to see if they're qualified to do it. But what I really see is, are they smiling? Are they positive about, you know, their confidence? Are they a positive person? Do they laugh? Are they basically, you know, tell me something that's unique about you. So, you know, so what's unique about me, for instance, is I'm a cantorial soloist. What does that mean? So I'm a singer, as I mentioned before, and I'm of the Jewish faith. So I studied with a cantor. And so on Friday nights and on high holidays, I'm now trained to be able to sing the service. I'm able to lead the service in song. It's it's my hobby, but it's also, that is my faith. That is something that is so important to me, that rounds me out as a person. And so that's something you would never know about me. I say that at conferences to people maybe that I'm just meeting. You know, think about what would be unique about you, and add that into an interview, because people want to know the authentic you. Who are you, and will you fit in with the rest of my team? So yes, the employer is hiring you to be an employee, but they shouldn't lose sight, and you shouldn't lose sight, that first and foremost, you are a person with skills and ability and emotions, and let that shine through. Be the authentic you. And that's it. That's me. Thank you for listening. And I need to stop sharing. There we go.
Okay. Thank you so much, Karen. This is really good, walk through the whole messaging purpose, and then how we can really train ourselves and train our brain to go through, the sequence, and be able to adjust to the audience as well. Thank you for that, and we can maybe open it up for Q&A. If anyone have any questions, you can unmute or write in the chat. Anyone? So maybe if nobody have question, I could maybe ask one. So, the confidence sometimes is a little bit difficult to build up, Karen, when we're speaking in interviews, especially when we sometimes think that we should know everything. We should be able to address every question, and handle those questions in a way that we're really experts. So, how would you say? What would you say for people who lose that confidence quickly? If they get a difficult questions, the question that they may not be able to answer. How do you think this could be handled?
Well, I think that first thing is take a deep breath, right? And it's amazing and take deep breaths before you go into the interview, and you go, someone taught me an exercise called, you breathe in, I am fine, and breathe out. Breathe in, I am fine, right? So I am fine. And when you repeat that a few times, your whole body opens up, your chest opens up, and when you're saying the words I am fine, or whatever mantra you want to use. Um, it's a positive thing, and so it's amazing how you will just open up. So, if someone asks you a question that you don't know the answer to, don't try and fake it. I think the worst thing you can do is try and fake an answer to something, because an interviewer will know right off the bat. If you don't know, just admit, I don't know the specific answer to that question. But what I would do is I would research, or, I would, ask people, or whatever it is you want to do. Just say, if I don't know the answer to a question, I would then I would Google, I would, again, ask for advice, whatever it is you want to say, but don't try and answer something in a fake way. The most important thing is to be an authentic, to who you are.
Thank you. This is good advice. Anyone have any other questions? I have tons of questions, but I want to give you a chance. Yeah, Yassine, go ahead, Yassine.
So, you mentioned about embracing change. So, for a lot of people, that might be a harder concept to grasp. Would you have maybe tips and tricks, seeing that like with the whole COVID situations, on how to embrace that change?
That's a great question. Um, I know sometimes I react to change in the, the first thing I do is panic. Really, I'm going to admit that. I start to panic, and I might go to a dark place and go, oh my God, what am I going to do now? So, I mean, I was lucky I didn't have a brick and mortar store that I had to close, but regardless, it was still, had immediate impact on my business. I flew everywhere, and to conferences, and I would speak and I would sponsor. That was all gone. What was I going to do? So allow yourself to panic. It's okay. Allow yourself to get upset or scream, whatever, go to the gym, whatever it is that you do to work out your tensions and anxiety. But give yourself a time limit, because I didn't have time to be anxious for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. The reality is the reality. Things were going to drastically change. So then what helps me is when I have a support group. I belong to a couple of what we call masterminds. So there are, and I'm sure you have this group, Ahmed, where people, you have a community here. And so, when you talk to somebody and you express your fears, say it out loud. Say it out loud, because once you give it voice, it then has less power over you. Right? And so then think about what skills you do have that can translate into virtual. How you, if you can't work at a brick and mortar shop, or or you can't go into an office. Well, how most of us can work remote from home. And just think about what you can do. And and again, voice your concerns to as many people that will listen, because it's the power of community that's going to be your cheerleader, and going to say, yes, you can do this. I hope that, does that help?
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Yassine. And again, if I can add a little bit, to what Karen just mentioned, it's about, the employers today, they don't expect you to know everything. They don't expect you to be, the hero who do each and everything, but they can expect you to figure it out. They expect you that you could really try your best to find ways to solve the situation, to research, to reach out to some folks to help you. This is what they expect you to do. So again, it's overwhelming. Everybody's having lots of changes. Technology is going very fast, and nobody's really able to catch up with everything that's happening.
Right.
You know, but again, it's how you can figure it out, how you can adapt, how you can be flexible to work with it.
That's really well said. And the important thing is to remember, even if you feel like that inside, you're a loner, or you're shy, it's so much better to have a team, to work, to have supporters around you, because then they're going to lift you up. Your support group is going to lift you up. And so employers do want to know that you're a problem solver. You don't want to be a problem maker, you want to be a problem solver.
Yes, absolutely. Mauricio, you had your hand raised. Do you want to come off mute?
Yes, definitely. Karen, thank you very much for all the information provided in this session. It's been really informative because I appreciate that. And my question is, what would be a good strategy for us when we need to give a lecture or a presentation or a speech to an audience that might not be really familiar with the topic we are going to talk about? How can I check if they are getting my message? Just for instance, how what is the strategy if I need to talk about rocket science to a audience that is taking a Bachelor of Arts, for instance?
Rocket science, and say that the last part again.
To an audience that is taking a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor in Arts. Yeah.
I
How
would
do I do
probably
that?
be the example you're talking about. So I think a great strategy, particularly if it's on Zoom, is to say, something and then go, so put in the chat how you felt about that, or what you think I meant by that. So using the chat is a great tool to kind of gauge where you are with people. So when I speak, I usually actually speak about book publishing. So, and about how writing a book and publishing a book not only gives you confidence, but it gives you the authority, it gives you credibility, it gives you the right to speaking stages, because event planners love people, to book speakers who have written books. And you can get on radio shows. Radio shows and podcasts love people who have written books. So the first thing, when I'm doing a speech like that, is I might say to the audience, who here has written a book? And, have you self-published it? So I ask a few questions of the audience first. That engages the audience, first of all, because now they're interactive with you. And then you want to, then you can kind of see where they are, right? And so if you're getting through a kind of a difficult portion of what you're talking about, you might say, can anybody repeat back to me? And you might actually unmute them where they, if you want to talk about it, or just use the chat as a tool.
Yeah, right. Great strategy. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions, anyone? Amr, do you have any questions? No?
Yeah, Ahmed. Yeah, maybe I have a question. I think Karen was mentioning that we should talk in a way to let the others understand and not to be so quick, like in a rate of 100 words per minute. So is there a way or a practical way that I can measure how many words per minute I'm doing?
Yes, you can use type out 100. Well, it's actually 190. I misspoke there. It's 190 words a minute. All right. And so type 190 words. You can do it on Word, you do the word count, and then you can use your phone, right? Just,
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see me, but then just use the timer.
yeah.
Speak it. All right, speak the words. You can read it from the script, from the Word document, and then time yourself and see how it goes. You know, and you should probably, if you're doing a speech as well, it's a good thing to do to practice to see, you know, if somebody gives you 30 minutes, you want to be respectful of their time as well. You know, and if that's what you're contracted for, then you really need to come in at 30 minutes. You can't come in at 40 minutes or 36 minutes. It's pretty disrespectful. I hope I did that, by the way. So I hope I came in 30 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, Amr, there is an app called or a website called otter.ai. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Right.
Yeah, please.
You know, it records you whatever you speak and it writes it down so that you can maybe after you speak for 1 minute, you could just check how many words you spoke in 1 minute, you know. So that could be another way.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a good way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? This is all great questions. Thank you.
Yeah, very good questions.
Yeah. Go ahead, Yasin.
Sorry. You talked about having your voice nuanced, and I know passion could be one thing, but is there a way to check how you like make your voice nuanced?
Well, record again, practice, and record yourself on Zoom, or practice with a friend, you know, and ask that person to listen to you, and definitely record yourself so that you can listen, you know, to your ups and downs and your modulations.
Thanks.
Cool. Maraiza, any questions from your side? No?
No?
No.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so Karen, maybe when we prepare for, let's say, writing the resume, you know, what do you suggest we focus on in let's say one phrase, one sentence, you know, what should we put in let's say 2 lines that really impress?
What impresses employers is results. So I increased sales by 30% last year by, increasing our social media presence, you know, in LinkedIn or, you know, or something like that. But basically what they want to see is you increase sales or productivity, or you designed a new system that increased, like the example I used before about someone putting in a new software system in 3 weeks, and now they solve this problem of getting reports any which way. So that's the first sentence is I increase sales, I increase productivity, you know, it's or the bottom line, you know, we were more profitable by 20% by doing X. That's the first thing I would do.
Thank you. And if let's say I have a lot of things that I achieved, like lots of things, how can I prioritize which one should I really write in a resume? So, you know, yeah, go ahead.
What do you mean, like by a lot of things I achieved? I mean, what?
So if let's say my career is like 20 years of work, so I have lots of achievements, lots of things that I've been doing. Which, you know, achievements should I select, you know, that makes more sense to the employer?
Well, your most recent jobs, probably 3 or 4 jobs, and then just explain, you know, what you want is you don't need to list every single job because they don't want to read through a curriculum vitae, you know, and you want to keep it short. What you want to do is focus on your, you know, how you help the organization. You know, what was your biggest achievement at that job, and your skill set. What is your skill set, which will be common. It'll be a common denominator amongst a lot of your jobs. So that's what they want to know, is what your skill set and what the benefits are. What are the benefits going to be to them?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm good from my end. If Mauricio or Yassine have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we can maybe take the group selfie and give you back 15 minutes or 10 minutes of your time. How's that? Are you good? Okay, so let me take the group selfie. When you're ready, I'm just gonna adjust my
Everybody
camera.
sit up straight. Sit up straight.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and smile. Awesome. This is really great. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Ahmed.
much, Karen. This is really very inspireful, very knowledgeable information that you share with us, and really appreciate your time and wisdom here.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and as I said, I was thrilled to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Bye, guys.
have
Bye
a
bye.
good
Thank
day.
you, Karen.
Take care.
Thank you, Karen.
Have a
Take
good
care.
evening.
Everyone. Okay.
Nice one.
Okay, bye.